Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Let me invite you to pause with me just for a moment and truly notice something most of us forget: the simple act of breathing in and out. When was the last time you really felt your lungs fill with air, felt that quiet strength carrying life to every cell in your body? For most of us, breathing is so natural, so automatic, that it fades into the background. We don't give it a second thought until the day comes when each breath feels like a mountain to climb. Picture yourself sitting by the window, your favorite cup of tea in hand, the gentle morning light streaming in. The world outside is peaceful, your home quiet. And then, out of nowhere, you notice something feels different. There's a tightness in your chest, a heaviness you can't explain. You try to dismiss it. Maybe it's just tiredness. Maybe it's that extra chore you did yesterday. But inside your body, something much more urgent may be happening, completely out of sight and, at first, almost silent. This, friends, is the hidden world of pulmonary embolism, a medical crisis that often creeps up on us with no warning, no fanfare. Especially for those of us over 60, it can turn a normal day into a race against time. But why does this happen? What's really going on beneath the surface when the body shifts from calm to crisis in a matter of moments? Today, I want us to walk this journey together. We'll look at those first gentle signals your body sends often, so easy to ignore or explain away. We'll talk about how a tiny clot hiding in the deep veins of your legs can suddenly break loose, travel up through your bloodstream, and bring your lungs and your entire body into an emergency. It's a journey that starts quietly with a hint of swelling, a touch of breathlessness, maybe a bit of discomfort that you chalk up to just getting older. But left unchecked, it can become a storm that changes everything in the blink of an eye. But don't worry, this isn't a story meant to scare you. It's a story about knowledge, about understanding, and about the power you have to recognize the signs and protect yourself. We'll peel back the curtain on what really happens inside your body at the very moment a pulmonary embolism strikes. More importantly, we'll discover together how you can spot the early warning signs. Take smart action and keep living each day with confidence and peace of mind. Throughout this talk, you'll hear real stories of ordinary people, just like you, who faced this invisible threat and found hope, healing, and even new strength on the other side. You'll get practical steps you can use right now to stay safe. Support your loved ones and make the most of every breath, every laugh, every walk in the garden or chat with a friend. Because here's the truth: your breath is precious. Easy inhale, every gentle exhale is a sign of life's resilience, a reminder that your body is always working to keep you well. And when you know what to look for, when you listen to those subtle changes and trust your instincts, you become your own best protector. So as we start this journey, I invite you to get comfortable. Maybe jot down a few notes and open your heart to learning something new. Whether you're here for yourself, for a partner, for a parent, or simply to be prepared, you are taking a powerful step. You are saying, "My health and the health of those I love is worth every moment of care, curiosity, and courage." Let's begin together, because what you learn today could truly make all the difference tomorrow. Let's begin by unraveling the words pulmonary embolism, a term you may have heard from doctors or read in health articles, but one that's rarely explained in a way that feels real or relatable. So, what does it truly mean? Why should it matter to you or to someone you love, especially as the years go by? Imagine, just for a moment, that your body is like a beautifully engineered city. Your veins and arteries are highways and roads, transporting precious cargo, your blood, to every distant neighborhood, delivering nutrients and oxygen, taking away waste, keeping each part alive and vibrant. Under normal circumstances, this network operates in quiet harmony with no traffic jams or unexpected stops. But sometimes, life changes the routine. Maybe you've just come home from the hospital after surgery. Maybe you've had a few weeks of less movement. Perhaps you were caring for an illness. Or you simply spent more time resting during the winter months. Or maybe it was a long journey. A bus ride to visit the grandchildren, a flight for a family reunion. You return, grateful for the memories, but without realizing that, deep inside, the highways of your body have begun to slow blood, when it isn't moving as it should, begins to pool in the lower legs. Most of the time, this is harmless, a little swelling, a touch of heaviness that fades overnight. But sometimes, in the deep, quiet veins, a tiny clot begins to form. You can't feel it. You can't see it. There are no sirens or flashing lights. Life simply goes on, and then, often without warning, everything changes. Part of that clot's so small, you'd never notice it breaks free. Like a mischievous traveler, it rushes through the veins, up toward your heart, and then is pumped directly into the lungs. Suddenly, it lodges in one of the arteries that feed your breath, your life. The pulmonary embolism has arrived. At that moment, everything inside your body goes on high alert. Blood can no longer reach parts of your lung. Oxygen levels drop. The heart has to work twice as hard, trying desperately to keep up. You may feel a pounding in your chest, a sudden shortness of breath, or a wave of confusion and fear. For some, the change is dramatic pain, gasping, even fainting. For others, the symptoms are so subtle that they seem like nothing at all. A little more tired, a little dizzy, a little off. Why is this event so important, and why should seniors pay special attention? Because as we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to these traffic jams. Our veins aren't quite as elastic, our circulation slows, and many of us have medical conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart issues that make clotting more likely. Even certain medications taken for years with no trouble can quietly increase the risk. But let's make this personal, not just medical. Think of a neighbor, a friend from church, or even yourself. Maybe you've known someone who seemed perfectly fine, maybe just a little slower on their feet. Maybe mentioning some swelling in their ankle after gardening, maybe a bit more tired after lunch. And then, out of nowhere, a medical emergency sends everyone scrambling. Only later do you learn that a blood clot was the silent culprit. What makes pulmonary embolism truly life-changing is not just the suddenness of the crisis, but the impact it has on every part of life. Surviving a PEI can mean a long journey of recovery, building back strength, confidence, and sometimes even trust in your own body. It can also leave an emotional mark, causing anxiety and fear about what could happen next. But the other side of that coin is hope. Because when you understand the story behind the symptoms, when you know what to look for and how to act, you gain power over the unknown. So as we continue, let's remember, pulmonary embolism isn't just a collection of medical facts or frightening statistics. It's a real lived experience that touches families, changes routines, reminds us of the preciousness of every breath we take. And with every new piece of understanding, you become better equipped to protect yourself, advocate for your loved ones, and live each day with a little more peace and a lot more strength. Let's keep moving forward, together, and explore how these clots form, why seniors are at higher risk, and most importantly, what you can do starting right now to stay safe and empowered. As we move forward on this journey of understanding, let's take a closer look at the path a blood clot takes and why the risk quietly rises as we grow older. It's easy to think of clotting as something that just happens after major surgery or a hospital stay, but the reality is much more subtle and often much closer to home. Let's rewind to everyday life. Imagine you're enjoying retirement, maybe spending more time reading, watching your favorite shows, or catching up with friends over the phone. Or perhaps you faced a recent illness, a minor fall, or a procedure that kept you off your Feed for a few days. At first, it seems harmless, even comforting to have a little extra rest. Yet, beneath the surface, your blood flow slows. And that gentle decline in movement can begin to change how your body works. As we age, our veins, those flexible highways, begin to lose some of their natural stretch. The tiny valves that once pushed blood back toward the heart with youthful energy now have to work a little harder. When you sit for longer periods, whether it's in a favorite recliner or on a cross-country trip, gravity starts to win the battle. Blood pools in the legs, and sometimes, without any warning, a clot begins to form in the deep veins. But why are seniors particularly at risk? For one, the body's natural anticoagulant systems, the built-in checks that keep blood from getting too thick, become less effective over time. Medical conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart failure, or even cancer make the blood more likely to clot. Surgeries, which are more common as we age, can further injure the lining of our veins, giving clots a place to start. Even the medications that help us manage pain, blood pressure, or hormones can tilt the scales toward clotting without us realizing it. To bring this closer to home, think about Mr. Walter's story. After his hip replacement, he did everything the doctors told him. He took his medication, rested as advised, and looked forward to getting back on his feet. But the days stretched on, and the urge to move was replaced by a well-meaning caution. Take it easy, don't overdo it. A week passed before he noticed his breath growing shorter, a heaviness in his chest. It was only then that he realized something was wrong. By the time he got to the hospital, the clot had already traveled, causing a pulmonary embolism that could have been deadly. Stories like Walter's remind us, the risk often builds slowly, almost silently. Sometimes it starts with an ache or swelling in the calf after a day in the garden, or a puffy ankle after a road trip. For others, it's a subtle shortness of breath, a little more tiredness in the afternoons, a faint pressure in the chest. These small signs are easy to ignore or to chalk up to just getting older. But here's the empowering part. Recognizing these risks means you can take action before a minor issue turns into a crisis. Knowing your medical history, being aware of family tendencies toward blood clots, and sharing this information with your healthcare team are crucial steps in protecting your health. It's also why doctors so often encourage movement, even gentle stretches or standing every hour after surgery or during long periods of sitting. A little movement, a small walk around the living room, even wiggling your toes, can help keep your blood flowing and prevent clots from forming in the first place. It's not just about movement though. Staying hydrated is another key part of the puzzle. As we get older, our sense of thirst fades, and it's easy to forget that our blood needs plenty of water to stay thin and healthy. Sipping water throughout the day, eating fruits with high water content, and watching out for dehydration during travel or illness all help keep your circulatory system in top shape. And let's not forget about medications you've been prescribed. Blood thinners after surgery or due to a heart condition. Following your doctor's advice without skipping doses is one of the most powerful steps you can take. These medicines are designed to keep clots at bay, giving your body the support it needs during vulnerable times. So as we journey further, let's keep this image in mind. Each day, each small decision, whether it's standing up to stretch, filling a glass of water, or talking openly with your doctor, creates a safer, more vibrant tomorrow. The risks may rise with age, but so does your wisdom, your awareness, and your power to protect yourself and those you love. Next, let's explore what really happens inside your body the very moment a clot hits your lungs and how you can spot the difference between an ordinary day and the beginnings of a crisis, sometimes before anyone else even notices. Stay with me as we continue this journey toward understanding, empowerment, and lasting well-being. As we continue our journey of understanding, let's focus on what truly happens deep inside your body. At the very moment, a blood clot leaves its silent hiding place in your leg and finds its way to your lungs. This moment can transform an ordinary day into an emergency, often with little warning. It's a story that unfolds in seconds, but its effects can linger for a lifetime. Let's imagine the scene. The clot, perhaps formed days ago in your calf or thigh, has now broken loose. Carried silently by your bloodstream, it travels up through larger and larger veins, moving swiftly toward your heart. The heart, always working faithfully, does not know that danger is coming. It pumps, as always, sending the clot through its right chambers and directly into the arteries of your lungs, the only place in your body where blood gets fresh oxygen before heading back out to nourish every cell. But then, in a fraction of a second, the clot becomes stuck, wedged in the narrow passageways of your lungs' arteries. Suddenly, blood can't flow where it's needed. Instantly, part of your lung is cut off from the life-giving stream, and a cascade of events is set in motion. First, your oxygen levels start to drop. Without fresh blood flowing through that part of your lung, oxygen cannot reach your heart, brain, or muscles as efficiently as before. You might feel short of breath, a sudden gasp for air, or a subtle tightening in your chest. For some, it's a stabbing pain that worsens with every breath. For others, it might simply feel like you can't catch your breath after standing up or walking across the room at the same time. Your heart, especially the right side, begins to work harder and harder. It's as if it's trying to push blood against a wall, but the wall isn't moving. This extra strain can lead to a rapid, pounding heartbeat or even cause the heart to go out of rhythm. In more severe cases, especially if the clot is large, your heart may not be able to keep up, and your blood pressure can fall dangerously low. This is why sometimes people faint or feel dizzy as their body struggles to adapt. But the story doesn't end there. Your body's emergency systems go into high alert. Stress hormones surge, making you feel anxious, sweaty, or even panicked. You might notice your skin turning pale or a bluish tint appearing on your lips or fingertips, signs that your body isn't getting the oxygen it desperately needs. Now, you may wonder, why do some people have only mild symptoms while others collapse in minutes? The answer lies in the size of the clot, the health of your heart and lungs, and how quickly the blockage occurs. Sometimes, if the clot is small, your body can slowly adjust and symptoms may be subtle, just a bit more tiredness, a mild cough, or a feeling of unease. For others, especially those with underlying heart or lung disease, even a small clot can trigger a full-blown crisis. It's important to recognize that pulmonary embolism doesn't always shout for attention. Many times it whispers shortness of breath that comes and goes, a mild pain in the chest, or a racing heartbeat that feels just a little out of the ordinary. Some people brush it off as heartburn, anxiety, or simply getting older. But, as you're learning here, those small signals can be the body's way of asking for help, of urging you not to wait, not to hesitate. Quick action can mean the difference between a scary event and a true catastrophe. Modern medicine has powerful treatments that can dissolve clots, support the heart, and restore oxygen if they're given in time. That's why knowledge and awareness are your greatest allies. By knowing how your body works, by listening closely to its signals, and by seeking help at the first sign of trouble, you empower yourself to act fast and protect your health in a moment. We'll talk about what happens next, the chain reaction, inside your lungs and heart, and how you and your loved ones can recognize both the obvious and the subtle signs that it's time to seek help. But for now, remember, every breath you take is precious. Each one is a reminder of your body's quiet miracles and of the power you have to care for yourself even when the danger is invisible. So, let's keep going. Let's build on this knowledge, strengthen our awareness, and make sure that no moment of warning goes unnoticed. Your health, your breath, and your future are worth every bit of attention and care. Now that we understand what happens when a blood clot makes its way to the lungs, let's go even deeper and look at the remarkable and sometimes dangerous chain reaction that follows. Because in truth, a pulmonary embolism isn't just a single event, it's a series of reactions inside your body, each affecting the next, each capable of changing the course of your day or even your life. Let's walk through this together. Imagine that clot now wedged inside a branch of your lung's artery. In an instant, the normal flow of blood is stopped. Oxygen can't get through to nourish your organs as it should. The affected part of your lung, deprived of that life-giving blood, starts to struggle. This is when the body's internal alarms go off. The first effect is on your heart, particularly the right side, which is responsible for pumping blood into your lungs to pick up oxygen. Suddenly, the heart is faced with a blockage, like trying to pump water through a hose that's been pinched shut. The pressure inside those blood vessels rises quickly. The right side of your heart has to push harder and harder. And if the clot is big enough or your heart is already weak, it may simply not be able to keep up. This strain can cause the heart to beat irregularly, to pump less efficiently, or in severe cases, to start to fail. The result? Blood begins to back up pressure, builds, and fluid may leak into the tissues, often showing up as swelling in your legs or ankles. But there's more. The area of your lung that is blocked by the clot begins to suffer. Without fresh blood, the tissue can start to die, a complication called a pulmonary infarction. This process is painful, and the damaged lung can become inflamed. You might begin to cough, sometimes even coughing up blood. Breathing becomes more labored. Every breath can feel like work, or like you're just not getting enough air. And while all this is happening, your body continues to send out stress signals. Hormones are released, causing your heart to race, your blood pressure to swing, and your skin to sweat. You may feel lightheaded or faint. If oxygen levels drop low enough, your lips or fingertips might take on a bluish tint, a clear signal that your brain, heart, and vital organs are not receiving the oxygen they so desperately need. But perhaps the most insidious part of this chain reaction is how quickly it can spread to affect your entire body. When the heart struggles and oxygen drops, other organs like your kidneys and liver can begin to fail. Your brain, so sensitive to changes in oxygen, may leave you feeling confused, anxious, or deeply fatigued. It's not uncommon for people in the middle of a pulmonary embolism to feel a sense of doom or fear, even before other symptoms become severe. At this point, you might be asking yourself, how would I know if this was happening to me or a loved one? Sometimes the signs are obvious. Sudden, severe chest pain, intense shortness of breath, a feeling like your heart is pounding out of your chest, or even a collapse. But sometimes, especially in older adults, the symptoms are much quieter: a little swelling, a mild cough, a sense of tiredness or confusion that just doesn't fit the usual pattern. And this is exactly why awareness matters so much. The earlier you recognize the signs and seek help, the better your chances of a full recovery. Modern treatments can often dissolve clots, reduce strain on the heart, and restore healthy blood flow. But timing is everything. Every minute that passes with a blockage in your lungs increases the risk to your heart and other organs. That's why it's so important right now to pause and reflect on what you've learned so far. Knowledge is not just information, it's protection. By understanding what's happening inside your body during a pulmonary embolism, you can act quickly and confidently if danger ever strikes. As we move forward, we'll talk more about how to recognize even the most subtle warning signs, how to prepare yourself and your family, and how to turn this knowledge into life-saving action. Because your story doesn't have to end in crisis. With the right awareness and a bit of courage, you can help write a happier, healthier next chapter. So stay with me, stay curious, and let's continue this important conversation. Your heart, Your lungs and your future are all worth every ounce of attention and care you give them. Let's pause here and really shine a light on one of the most challenging parts of pulmonary embolism: its ability to creep in quietly, almost like a whisper, instead of announcing itself with sirens blaring. For many seniors, and truly for people of any age, this is the most dangerous part of the story. Pulmonary embolism, or PEI, often disguises itself as everyday aches, mild fatigue, or symptoms we're all too ready to brush aside as just getting older. So why does this happen? Why can something so serious, so life-changing, start off so quietly? The truth is, our bodies are remarkably adaptable. As we age, we become experts at ignoring or accommodating little changes: breathlessness on the stairs, a tightness in the chest after gardening, or that odd swelling in just one leg. We're quick to blame arthritis, summer heat, a bad night's sleep, or even a change in the weather. But sometimes, what feels like a small annoyance is actually the very first clue that something much more urgent is happening inside. Let's walk through the most common, quiet warning signs, so you'll never dismiss them again. For instance, shortness of breath that sneaks up on you. Maybe you notice you're a little more winded after walking from the living room to the mailbox, or you need to sit down halfway through a task you used to do with ease. Maybe you feel chest discomfort, not a sharp pain, but a dull ache or pressure, something easy to ignore or explain away. Swelling in one leg, especially if it comes on quickly or feels different from your usual aches, is a classic red flag. To dot other subtle signs include mild confusion or a sense that you just don't feel right, which can be especially tricky in seniors. Sometimes, family members are the first to notice these changes. Grandma seemed more tired this week, they'll say, or Dad's just not himself lately. It's easy to blame these changes on aging or a busy week, but it's always worth asking, could it be something more? To illustrate, let's return to the story of Mrs. Rose, 77. She spent a few days just feeling off. Nothing dramatic, just a little more tired, a bit short of breath, her calf looking puffier than usual. She chalked it up to too much walking at the market. Only after she fainted while making lunch did her family realize how serious things had become. By the time she reached the emergency room, the doctors quickly recognized a pulmonary embolism. Thankfully, her story ended with treatment and recovery, but it's a powerful reminder of how easily the earliest signs can slip past unnoticed. But why are these subtle symptoms so important? Because the earlier a pulmonary embolism is recognized, the better the chances of survival and a full recovery. Delaying treatment even by a few hours gives the clot more time to damage the lungs and strain the heart. It's like a fire. Easier to put out when it's small, much harder when it's already raging. So what can you do? The answer is both simple and powerful. Listen to your body and trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, especially new swelling, unexplained breathlessness, or chest discomfort, don't wait for things to get worse. Don't convince yourself it's nothing or try to tough it out. Tell someone. Call your doctor or head to urgent care. Symptoms are severe or sudden. Don't hesitate. Call emergency services immediately. Remember, you know your body better than anyone. You are your own best advocate. And when you share what you notice with loved ones, you give them the power to help protect you, too. Educate your family and friends about the subtle warning signs so they can act fast if you ever need help. As we continue this journey, remember that paying attention, no matter how small the symptom, could mean the difference between a minor scare and a major crisis. The next segment will explore what to do when the situation suddenly becomes a full-blown emergency and how quick action can truly save lives. So, stay tuned and stay empowered. Your health, your awareness, and your future are all deeply connected. As we move forward, it's crucial to understand what happens when those early, subtle symptoms suddenly transform into a full-blown emergency, a crisis where every second truly counts. This is the moment where quick thinking, a calm mind, and immediate action can make all the difference, not only for survival, but for a future filled with more good days and precious memories. Imagine this. It's one moment you're sitting in your favorite chair, maybe reading a book or chatting with a loved one, and the next, a wave of intense discomfort washes over you. It might start as a sudden, sharp pain in your chest, a feeling like someone is squeezing or sitting on your rib cage. Your breathing becomes rapid and shallow. You gasp for air, but no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to get enough oxygen. Your heart races, pounding so hard you can feel it in your neck and temples. You might break into a cold sweat or notice your lips and fingers turning pale or bluish. For some, the onset is so fast that it feels like being struck by lightning. An overwhelming pain, dizziness, or a sudden loss of consciousness. For others, symptoms escalate over minutes, giving just enough time for fear and confusion to set in. You may feel an intense sense of doom, as if something is terribly wrong. In that moment, hesitation can be the biggest enemy it's in. Times like these that knowing what to do before panic sets in can save a life. So, what should you or your loved ones do when faced with these alarming signs? First and foremost, do not wait and see if things improve. In the case of pulmonary embolism, every minute matters. Call emergency services immediately. With someone experiencing these symptoms, help them to a safe, comfortable position and stay with them until help arrives. Try to remain as calm as possible, offering reassurance and support. Even if you're not sure whether it's a pulmonary embolism or another health issue, it's always better to err on the side of caution. Medical teams would much rather tell you it was a false alarm than miss a critical, life-threatening situation. While you wait for help, there are a few things you can do. Take note of when the symptoms started, and if possible, share any recent changes in health, like recent surgery, travel, new medications, or a history of blood clots. Having this information ready helps doctors act fast and choose the best treatment for many seniors and their families. Facing such a crisis can be terrifying, but there is hope even in the darkest moments. Thanks to medical advances, treatments for pulmonary embolism have improved tremendously over the years. With rapid diagnosis, doctors can use powerful clot-busting medications, advanced imaging, and sometimes even minimally invasive procedures to remove or dissolve the clot. Intensive care teams are skilled at stabilizing heart and lung function, giving your body the best chance to recover. It's important, too, to recognize that you are never alone during these moments. Emergency responders, doctors, nurses, and hospital staff are all there with one goal: to help you through the crisis and bring you safely back to your loved ones. They will guide you, answer your questions, and support you every step of the way. After the storm has passed and treatment is underway, it's normal to feel shaken, even frightened about what comes next. But every survivor's story reminds us that resilience is possible and that the journey to recovery begins with the brave, split-second decision to seek help when it matters most. So as you listen to this, let it be a reminder. In the face of sudden, severe symptoms, chest pain, trouble breathing, rapid heartbeat, fainting, don't wait. Don't brush it off as just getting older or a little anxiety. Trust your instincts, act fast, and call for help. You are your own best advocate, and your willingness to respond quickly is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and your family. Let's continue our journey, learning not only how to survive a crisis, but how to thrive in the days and months that follow. Because after the emergency, there's a road to healing, rebuilding, and regaining confidence, one small, hopeful step at a time. Stay with me as we explore what recovery looks like and how you can reclaim your strength, your routine, and your joy for life. Now that we've walked together through the storm of a pulmonary embolism crisis, let's gently turn our attention to what happens after the hidden effects. the long days of recovery, and the emotional journey that often follows such a life-changing event. Because, as many seniors and their loved ones discover, surviving a pulmonary embolism is just the first chapter in a much larger story, a story that's filled with both challenges and hope, setbacks and victories. To begin, it's just important to remember that every recovery is unique. Some people bounce back quickly, while others find that regaining their energy, confidence, and routine takes time and patience. In the days and weeks after a pulmonary embolism, it's common to feel breathless, especially when climbing stairs, walking longer distances, or doing chores that once felt easy. Your lungs may ache, your heart might flutter with a little extra effort, and fatigue can linger even after a good night's sleep. But these lingering symptoms are not a sign of weakness. They are simply your body's way of healing. After all, your lungs have just been through a major ordeal. Parts of the lung may have lost blood supply, and it takes time for your body to reroute circulation and for damaged tissue to recover. The right side of your heart, which had to work extra hard during the crisis, might also need time to regain its usual strength as you move through the early days of recovery. You might notice other changes. It's not unusual to experience swelling in your legs or ankles, especially if your heart is still working harder than usual. Coughing, occasional chest discomfort, or a persistent feeling of just not being yourself can also last for a while. These are all normal, but they should gradually improve. If you find symptoms worsening, don't hesitate to check in with your healthcare team. It's not only the physical symptoms that demand attention, the emotional impact of surviving a pulmonary embolism can be just as profound. Many seniors describe feelings of anxiety, fear, or even sadness that linger long after they leave the hospital. You may worry that every ache or twinge is a warning sign, or feel nervous about resuming activities you used to enjoy. Some people hesitate to walk outside, travel, or even climb stairs, fearing another episode. This is where the support of family, friends, and medical professionals becomes invaluable. Don't be afraid to share how you're feeling emotionally as well as physically. Talk openly with your doctor about your concerns. Sometimes, joining a support group in person or online can make a world of difference, connecting you with others who understand your fears and can share their own experiences of hope and recovery. As you navigate this new normal, remember that small steps forward are victories. Maybe your first big achievement is simply walking to the mailbox, making your own breakfast, or sitting outside for a few minutes each day. Celebrate these moments. With each gentle effort, your lungs and heart will grow stronger and your confidence will return. Physical therapy can be a crucial ally on your road to recovery. Therapists can guide you through breathing exercises, gradual strength training, and safe ways to increase your stamina. Even simple routines like ankle pumps, gentle stretches, or using a stationary bike can help improve circulation and rebuild your energy, all at a pace that feels right for you. Meanwhile, your medical team will keep a close eye on your progress. Some people will need to take blood thinners for a few months, while others with higher risk factors may require lifelong medication. Your doctor will discuss what's best for you, and regular checkups will ensure that your treatment is working as it should. Make sure to ask questions, take notes, and never hesitate to speak up about anything that doesn't feel right. Let's not forget the power of community. Your loved ones, friends, and neighbors want to support you, so let them in. Let them bring you a meal, accompany you on a walk, or simply sit and listen. Recovery is not just a physical journey, but a shared one, built on kindness and connection. Above all, trust yourself. You have already faced and overcome something truly formidable. Every day you move forward, you are writing a new chapter, a chapter of resilience, hope, and renewed purpose. And as you find your footing again, remember, your experience can inspire others, offering wisdom, comfort, and courage to those who will walk this path after you. So, As we look ahead, let's keep building a life that's not defined by fear, but by gratitude for each new breath and every small triumph. The journey may not be easy, but you are never alone. Together, we can turn recovery into renewal and every challenge into a chance to live even more fully than before. Now that we've explored the challenges of recovery, let's shift our focus to a place of hope and action. Prevention, because as daunting as the risk of pulmonary embolism may sound, the truth is, you hold more power than you might think. To safeguard your health, and it starts with a few simple daily habits. To begin, let's talk about the importance of staying active. Movement is truly your best defense against blood clots, especially as we age. Our bodies are designed to move, and every step you take, no matter how small, helps your blood circulate, reduces pooling in the legs, and keeps your veins healthy. You don't need to run marathons or join a gym. Simple movements count. Stand up every hour, stretch your legs, take a walk to the mailbox, or do gentle ankle circles while watching TV. If you have trouble getting up, even wiggling your toes or flexing your ankles can make a difference. Remember, it's consistency that counts, not intensity. Alongside movement, hydration plays a powerful role in prevention. Many seniors underestimate the importance of drinking water. As we age, our sense of thirst dulls, but our bodies still need fluids to keep our blood flowing smoothly. Dehydration makes blood thicker and more prone to clotting, especially during hot weather or long periods of inactivity. Make it a habit to sip water throughout the day. Enjoy herbal teas or include water-rich foods like fruits and soups in your meals. Place a water bottle where you can see it, and set gentle reminders if you tend to forget. Another cornerstone of prevention is managing chronic health conditions. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, working with your doctor to keep these conditions under control is key. Regular checkups, taking medications as prescribed, and following your care plan not only reduce your risk of clots, but also improve your overall quality of life. Don't be shy about asking your healthcare provider if you're due for a review or need support adjusting your routine. For those who are preparing for surgery, planning a long trip, or recovering from illness, it's especially important to be proactive. Before any procedure, talk to your doctor about your risk for blood clots. Ask if you need blood thinners, compression stockings, or other preventive steps. After surgery or injury, get up and move as soon as it's safe. Sometimes even simple leg exercises in bed can help. During long flights or car rides, make it a point to stand, stretch, or walk every hour if possible. Let's not forget about the little signals your body may give you. Stay alert to new swelling, redness, or pain in your legs, especially if it's just on one side. Don't ignore sudden shortness of breath or chest discomfort, even if it seems mild. Early action saves lives. When in doubt, it's always better to seek medical advice than to wait and wonder. Beyond the physical steps, empower your loved ones, too. If you're a caregiver, family member, or friend, learn the warning signs and encourage open conversations about health. Remind each other to move, hydrate, and check in with your doctors. You are each other's best advocates, and for anyone who has experienced a blood clot before, prevention becomes a lifelong partnership with your healthcare team. You may need regular checkups, ongoing medication, or additional support. But with vigilance and teamwork, you can dramatically lower your risk of recurrence. What's truly inspiring is how these small changes add up, not only to protect your body, but also to nurture your independence and peace of mind. Each glass of water, every walk around the block, and every check-in with your doctor is an act of self-care. A statement that you value your well-being and the years ahead. Prevention isn't about living in fear. It's about embracing your power to shape your future. It's about making choices one day, one step, one healthy habit at a time that keep you moving, engaged, and able to enjoy the moments and memories that matter most. So as we continue this journey together, Let's carry forward the knowledge, courage, and practical wisdom that empowers us all. Whether you're a senior, a family member, or simply someone who wants to make the most of every day, remember, your efforts matter. You have what it takes to protect yourself and those you love. Let's take these lessons to heart and put them into action, starting today. As we move forward, let's take a moment to acknowledge something often overlooked in health conversations: the emotional journey that comes with facing a condition like pulmonary embolism. You see, surviving a health crisis isn't just about the body, it's also a test of the heart and mind. The invisible impact of fear, anxiety, or even guilt can linger long after the physical symptoms have faded. First, let's be honest. If you or a loved one has gone through a medical emergency, it's perfectly normal to feel unsettled. Many seniors, after experiencing pulmonary embolism or even just a scare, find themselves worrying about every strange twinge or odd ache. What if it happens again? Can I trust my body? These questions can keep you up at night, making it hard to find peace, no matter how well your recovery is going. And for family members, the emotional toll is real too. Watching someone you care about struggle to breathe or rushing them to the emergency room leaves a mark. The feelings of helplessness, worry, and sometimes frustration are a heavy burden to carry, especially when you're trying to stay positive and provide support. But here's an important truth: you're not alone, and you don't have to face these emotions in silence. Finding strength doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means facing them with courage and seeking connection. Start by giving yourself permission to feel. Maybe you feel scared or angry or just tired of being the patient. Maybe you're frustrated by physical limitations or grieving the loss of certain routines. These feelings are valid and common, especially after a life-altering event. Don't brush them aside. Talking about your emotions, whether with family, friends, or a counselor, can lift a huge weight off your shoulders. Connection is key. If you feel isolated, reach out. There are support groups, both in person and online, filled with people who've walked the same path. Sharing stories, tips, or even just a laugh with others who understand can renew your sense of hope and control. Family meetings or regular phone calls with loved ones help keep everyone on the same page and reduce anxiety on both sides. Building new routines can also be a source of healing. After a pulmonary embolism, you might worry about moving too much or not enough. You might find yourself hesitant to travel or join social events. Start small. Set gentle, achievable goals for yourself. A walk to the garden, a coffee date with a neighbor, or learning a relaxation technique. Every milestone is a victory worth celebrating. And don't underestimate the power of positive self-talk. Remind yourself daily that you are resilient. You survived something difficult. Your body and mind are stronger than you realize. Gratitude, journaling, prayer, or simple moments of reflection can help you focus on what you can do instead of what you fear. It's also helpful to involve your healthcare team in your emotional recovery. Ask questions about your risks. Clarify what's safe and let them know about your concerns. Sometimes, just having a plan for the what-ifs can ease your mind and give you the confidence to resume activities you enjoy. For caregivers and loved ones, your emotional well-being matters too. Don't be afraid to ask for help or share your worries. Remember, supporting someone else is easier when you're taking care of yourself. Rest, seek advice, and connect with others who understand the challenges of caregiving. In the end, the journey through and beyond a pulmonary embolism is about more than surviving. It's about reclaiming your life, one moment at a time. It's about finding new sources of strength, leaning on your community, and giving yourself credit for every step you take forward. So if you're listening right now and you felt anxious, discouraged, or unsure of your next step, know that your feelings are normal and that you have the power and the right to seek joy, peace, and connection again. This is your story, and every chapter ahead is yours to write. Let's keep moving forward together with compassion, courage, and a sense of hope for all the good days still to come. As we move toward the end of our journey together, let's pause and shine a light on something that truly matters. The power of recovery, the resilience found in ordinary people, and the hope that's born out of the most challenging moments. If you've listened this far, you may be wondering, will I ever feel like myself again after something as frightening as a pulmonary embolism? Or maybe you're worried about a loved one who's still on the long road back. Take heart, because healing is not only possible, but it often unfolds in beautiful, unexpected ways. Let's start by acknowledging that every recovery is unique. Some people bounce back quickly, eager to return to their routines. Others need more time, taking cautious, gentle steps forward. Both paths are valid, and both are worthy of celebration. What's important is that you recognize progress, however small, and allow yourself to be proud of each victory. Consider the story of Mr. George, age 80, who once thought his active life was over. After his pulmonary embolism, every breath felt heavy, and every walk to the mailbox seemed impossible. But Mr. George didn't give up. Instead, he worked closely with his doctor and a compassionate physical therapist. Setting tiny goals, first just standing at the window, then walking to the end of the driveway, then to his neighbor's house. With every milestone, his confidence grew. At first, George worried about pushing himself too hard, fearing another setback. But he learned to listen to his body, rest when needed, and celebrate his progress. "I never thought I'd garden again," he shares, a smile lighting up his face. "But now, every morning, I'm out with my tomatoes. Each breath is a gift. I look forward to the sunlight, the birdsong, the feeling of dirt in my hands. My life didn't end with my illness. In some ways, it started over." Stories like George's remind us that recovery isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. Many people find that after a major health scare, their priorities shift. They cherish family dinners a little more, take joy in simple pleasures, and discover new gratitude for the routines they once took for granted. Maybe it's a granddaughter's giggle, a friend's visit, or a quiet afternoon with a favorite book. These moments become new markers of wellness. And hope, of course, setbacks happen. There might be days when fatigue wins, when worry creeps in, or when progress feels painfully slow. That's normal. Healing is rarely a straight path. But even on the toughest days, remember, you're not starting from zero. Each small effort builds on the last, and you are never alone on this road. Support from friends, family, neighbors, or even a support group can make the difference between discouragement and new determination. And let's not forget the role of humor and positivity. Laughter is truly healing, even in difficult times. Sharing stories, watching a favorite comedy, or simply recalling a funny memory with a loved one can ease tension and remind you that joy is still possible. If you're a caregiver, your encouragement and patience are priceless. A kind word, a listening ear, or a gentle reminder to rest or move can help your loved one find their strength again. Sometimes, just being present is the greatest gift you can offer. As you reflect on these stories, ask yourself, what is one small victory I can celebrate today? Maybe you took a few more steps than yesterday, drank an extra glass of water, or simply reached out for support. Each act, no matter how minor it seems, is a testament to your resilience. So, as we wrap up this segment, let the stories of others inspire you to write your own. Recovery after a pulmonary embolism is not just about surviving, it's about living. With renewed purpose, savoring each breath, and finding meaning in every new day. With hope, determination, and support, there are brighter days ahead. Let's keep moving forward, together, and remember, you have the strength to create your own comeback story, one breath, one step, one hopeful moment at a time. Now, as we come to the close of this journey together, let's pause to reflect on what we've discovered, not just as facts and warnings, but as real, life-changing knowledge that has the power to protect you and those you care about most. It comes to pulmonary embolism. Every breath you take, every moment of awareness truly matters. So let's gather up the lessons, the inspiration, and the hope, and turn them into an action plan that you can carry forward, starting today. First and foremost, remember that understanding your risks isn't meant to fill you with fear. It's meant to arm you with confidence and clarity. Age, medical history, and lifestyle all play a role in the risk of blood clots, but none of these things define your destiny. What matters most is your willingness to stay alert, to trust your instincts, and to never brush aside warning signs. No matter how small or insignificant they may seem at first glance. Think back on the stories we've shared: the sudden shortness of breath, the swelling in a single leg, the chest pain that felt like nothing at first but turned out to be a crucial warning. These aren't just random events. They are the body's way of sounding the alarm, asking you to pay attention and take action. Never underestimate the power of your own intuition. If you ever feel something is wrong, even if others say it's probably nothing, trust yourself and seek help immediately. Seconds can truly save lives. But of course, prevention is always better than cure. So let's talk about what you can do, starting right now, to lower your risk and build a safer, healthier routine. It begins with simple daily movement. Don't underestimate the value of just standing up, stretching, walking a little farther, or flexing your ankles every hour. Hydration is another small but mighty step, keeping your blood thin and flowing freely by sipping water throughout the day is one of the easiest changes you can make. And don't forget the power of routine checkups, managing chronic illnesses, and following your doctor's advice about medications, especially after surgeries or hospital stays. Perhaps most importantly, embrace the role of a communicator and connector. Share what you've learned here today with your friends, your family, and your caregivers. Talk openly about the risks, the warning signs, and the importance of quick action. Make sure everyone around you knows what to do in an emergency. A few minutes spent educating those you love could be the very thing that saves a life. Recovery, as we've discussed, is a journey in itself, one that doesn't end when you leave the hospital. There may be days of frustration, anxiety, or uncertainty, but each day also brings new opportunities for joy, strength, and hope. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, seek support when you need it, and celebrate every milestone, no matter how small. Your resilience is your superpower. If you've watched this video to the end, know that you've already taken an incredible first step. You are now better prepared to recognize the early signs of danger, to act quickly in a crisis, and to build a future filled with more freedom, independence, and health. Your knowledge is not only a shield for yourself, but a gift for your whole community. So, as you turn off this video, don't just move on to the next thing. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the miracle of your lungs working, and thank yourself for investing in your well-being. Jot down a few action steps, maybe a reminder to call your doctor for a checkup, or to tell a friend what you've learned, or simply to set a timer to stretch and move. And please, don't let this be the end of our conversation. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. Leave a comment with your story or your questions, and join our growing community of people who are committed to living their best, healthiest lives. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more empowering, practical advice designed just for you and your loved ones. In the end, every breath truly does count. Your body, your choices, your awareness, they all add up to a life filled with more days, more adventures, more laughter, and more love. Thank you for letting me walk this path with you. Until next time, keep moving, keep learning, and keep believing in your ability to shape a vibrant, hopeful future one breath at a time.